Welcome back to the Last Row Podcast. My name is Drew, and as always, I am joined by my very good friend Badway.
Hey, what's up?
We want to welcome all new listeners. For those that do not know, this is the podcast where we watch movies that might not have been loved by the critics, find those silver linings, and fill in the blanks that the movie writers might have left out. If you're looking for us on the interwebs, find us on our website at thelastrowpodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter at thelastrowpod, facebook.com/thelastrowpod. We are also on Google+. And lastly, please head on out to iTunes. Give us a 5-star review if you like what we do. If you enjoyed the show, we really, really appreciate it. Thank you to everyone that's done it so far.
So this is a very special episode, Drew. This is the Last Row on demand, or the Last Row : on demand.
You got to have a
as we like to say. So what we're going to do here is every other week to sandwich our full movie podcasts, we're going to have a little shortened episode to just talk about basically what's on our mind in the world of entertainment through the week. Talk about what we've been watching. Basically, wrap it up with maybe a game, a quick hit, something light to end it up with. So it's more of a free-flowing conversation. For today's episode, we're going to be talking about Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice and its impending release. We're going to get into what we've been watching, including a couple of Oscar movies, along with some TV shows, old and new. And we're going to wrap it up with a Razzie update as we're in Oscar season.
So are you pumped for Batman, Badway? Let me ask you, are you pumped? Are you psyched? Are you stoked, as they would say
stoked?
In California?
I would never say stoked.
Are you stoked, Badway?
I kinda.
Are the fans flaming right now of your excitement?
They're a little lukewarm, you know. Sure, I'm excited about it. I love Batman. I'm not a superhero guy. That's not my top 5 movie genre.
Not your MO.
It might be 6 out of my top 5, but sure, why not? And this movie, more so than most, I guess I'm all pumped for. So I'm good for any Batman movie.
Yeah.
It seems like you're pretty pumped.
So have you seen the most recent trailer?
I've seen all the trailers, yeah. Oh, yeah.
How did you feel when you saw it?
All right, let's rank the trailers, right? So the first one was pretty not good.
You want to go
not good?
I love it.
The first trailer was like, uh-oh. And the second trailer was like, all right. The third one is, let's do this, right?
See,
is that what you rank them the same?
I mean, listen, you know me. I'm a fanboy.
I know you're going to love this movie if it's
a steaming pile of crap.
If George Clooney's in it, you're going to love it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, listen, I didn't even like Batman and Robin, but I am the biggest Batman fan in this room right now.
Wait, let's go back. You didn't like it at all? Like, even as 12-year-old you?
I enjoyed it.
Okay.
But I was like,
Even then you knew it was bad, right? I knew that too. I had the same feeling.
Listen, I liked it. I liked it in spite of how bad it was.
Yeah, you knew, though.
Only because, who doesn't love Batman on the screen, but it was really bad.
Even the kids knew, but I digress. Go on.
Listen, we find the silver linings and things. There weren't a lot.
No.
But this new movie, I'm pretty pumped for, and I'm not going to lie. Like, I know that the interwebs are all up in arms over it's too, grimdark and all this stuff. I don't care. Batman fighting Superman on the screen, I don't give a crap. Zack Snyder, whatever his name is, I don't even care.
What, the guy that did Sucker Punch?
Yeah.
That guy?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
he can't make a movie.
We talked about that many times over the hate of some of these things. That last trailer sold me on it. The way that Batman fought those bad guys in the room.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the Arkham series of video games. It was awesome. Like, I just love the action of that. Because, I love the Nolan movies, don't get me wrong. Coming back to those movies, you didn't really see the action like you did there. They really choreographed it well, and who knows if it was CG? I don't know.
That's actually one of my downsides to a lot of these superhero movies. And Marvel does this especially, and also the Christopher Nolan Batmans, where the action is so fast you don't even see what's going on. You can't see the heroes fighting anybody. It's kind of like a whirlwind type thing, and I think it's too much. I liked it for it to be slowed down, and it's a good point with the Arkham video games. It's very similar in that aspect, especially that's only one scene. But
what do you think of Affleck? Do you think he's going to be good? I mean, what you've seen of him?
I'm all on board with Affleck. Affleck gets a lot of crap, but you look at his previous, 4 films, and what did he do? So he did The Town, Argo, Gone Girl. This whole rumor that Affleck is not a good actor is over. It should be over and done with. And Daredevil should not even be a thought in anyone's.
That wasn't even his
anywhere.
fault. Honestly, that wasn't his fault, and it wasn't that bad of a movie. It wasn't great, but it wasn't that bad.
So after having said all that, there's no reason for anyone to be concerned about Affleck, I feel.
I think he's going to do a good job. It seems that he's fitting the Bruce Wayne that they want. He's an older, more veteran, grizzled Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
He looks, our friend Jerem said this, he looks the damn closest to the Batman, the animated series Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
He has the big-ass jaw. There's a really funny picture. Maybe we'll make it the picture of this. It's Affleck smiling next to the Bruce Wayne smiling Batman of the animated series, which is ultimately my favorite Batman incarnation. I'm really excited for this movie, man. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed Man of Steel. I know people dumped on that too.
Yeah.
It wasn't the greatest movie ever, but I liked it.
Now, here's a window into how I view superhero movies. Man of Steel, I thought was a very good movie. I enjoyed it, but I actually fell asleep during the climax. That's just what I do.
It was
I
too
don't know.
long.
Yeah. And it was so loud in the theater, and it did not deter me from falling asleep. It was only for like 2 minutes.
Listen, they had, if you weren't there, I was next to him, and they turned it up to 11. Like, it was so loud, it was distorting. That's how loud it was.
I think I'm a good judge of superhero movies because I'm removed from fanboyism when I see these things. So I can tell you that I think Avengers 2 wasn't all that hot. And I can tell you that Avengers 1 is a tad bit overrated. Separating myself. Now, I know my microphone just caught fire when I said that. But separating myself from fanboyism and just looking at it as an outsider. I feel like I'm a good judge of these movies as a viewing experience. Yes. Yeah. So, and I think the only reason this movie I would worry about it, and when I say worry, it's with a grain of salt. You take it with a grain of salt.
Sure.
Is the Superman aspect of it, because it's hard, and every Superman movie goes through this. It's hard to capture Superman in a movie because he's kind of a dull guy.
Yeah.
It's hard to like capture his struggle.
They tried to humanize him in the last one, and I think that set a lot of people off.
Yeah, but that's the only way you really could do it, is you have to try to humanize him.
I mean, look, if anything about Man of Steel, they at least tried a different take on it. Now, whether you liked it or not, that's okay. We'll see what happens with this one. I think another concern of people is that they're trying to shoehorn too many characters into this because they're trying to catch up to Marvel, on the Dawn of Justice aspect.
I hate that, yeah.
We'll see how it's done. I'm hopeful for it. I mean, people had said that the last trailer ruined a lot of the stuff. They showed Doomsday. They showed all these things. Am I excited? I'm really excited. I mean, I'm just going to be straight up with that. I have been excited about this since they announced it. The fact that, you would see Batman and Superman on screen together. As a fan of Batman and Superman growing up, that's everybody's dream.
Right.
So it's going to be good. There was a rumor that came out recently that it was screened and Warner Brothers is nervous.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any truth to this. Doesn't seem to be, because the second that it came out, Warner Brothers, there was a rumor, they're not going to do Justice League. They're going to push it back. What did Warner Brothers do? They greenlit the movie immediately. Yeah. So I don't think there's any weight to that.
I think that's a bunch of garbage. Nobody's, especially from a money-making aspect, no one's worried about this movie. Even if it's bad, it's going to make $1 billion. So,
do you have any concerns about this movie? And you've said this before, just in life, something that's kind of an episode. Now you got to watch everything.
Yes.
Is that how you feel about this?
I definitely wanted to get into this. And this is why I'm not a huge fan of the Avengers series and the Marvel series. Now, don't get me wrong, they're good movies for the most part. I enjoyed Avengers, even though I thought it was slightly overrated as the greatest movie of all time ever. And I thought Avengers 2 was certainly dull in some aspects, but I enjoyed Iron Man 1. I enjoyed Captain America. I even enjoyed, to a degree, the last Hulk movie. Thor, I give or take it. But
you're not into the Asgardians.
Right. But the thing I hate about these movies is that they're all connected, so which means I have to watch one to get the other. Am I going to be lost if I don't see Iron Man 2 and if I don't see Iron Man 3? Like, am I going to be lost now that we're having Batman and Superman together? Am I going to have to watch Justice League if I want to watch the standalone Batman movie? Yeah. And if I want to watch the standalone Aquaman movie, or if that's even going to come out? Vinny Chase starred it. I don't know. That's my problem, is like the endings of these movies, they don't matter anymore. At least with the Nolan trilogy, each ending for Batman Begins and Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises, they had a pretty decent ending to the story. Whereas a lot of these movies, especially in the Marvel Universe, all you're doing when you're ending a movie is setting up immediately the next movie, and then the next movie. It's an endless string, and you never get closure.
And that's something I could see as a valid concern, especially if you're a casual fan, I think, of the superhero genre.
Yeah, now there's probably Marvel fans that love it, and that's fine.
I mean, I'm a huge fan of some of the Marvel movies too. I liked Avengers. I did really enjoy it. The last one I didn't like as much. I just didn't think it was as good. Maybe that was because there's so many characters. I mean, it's such a tough thing, I think, to juggle everybody.
It's too much on the screen.
So it's tough for the director and the writers and everybody. But I haven't been watching like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I know that ties into the movies and stuff. So I don't know if I'm missing anything out on that. It's just so many things to keep up with. But I have been watching some of the other shows like Arrow and Flash, and we'll get to that. It seems like DC, though, is keeping that universe separate.
That's for the best, too.
Which I think...
You shouldn't bleed the TV shows. You're not, all of a sudden you have... It's like a homework assignment, You have to watch S.H.I.E.L.D.
out, man.
So you can watch Iron Man 2, then you have to watch Iron Man 2, or else you shouldn't watch Captain America, or it's like it goes on and on and on and on and on. I just want my movie to begin and end. Or maybe this is get off my lawn. Maybe I'm an old man.
Is this a curmudgeon moment?
Yeah. Maybe I just want to watch the 2.5 hour movie. It's already long enough. If I'm sitting through 2.5 hours of the Avengers, and at the end of the movie they're saying, "Oh, well, guess what? The princess is in another castle. Then you're on to the next level.
Except you got to wait 3 years.
At a certain point, I'm like, screw this. I don't want to watch Iron Man anymore. I'm done with them.
Well, it's kind of like TV shows, and I don't know if maybe this is a philosophical discussion for another day, but the TV show aspect of everything, everything's becoming episodic because TV shows are an hour long, 44 minutes, whatever it is, 42 minutes, and you always get the next one, but you can load it up. You know, it's like a TV series is about 13 series, but usually they have an arc that kind of begins and ends.
Yeah.
Well, I think it remains to be seen how this one's going to be, but I think as a beginning to the series, I'm pretty excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, I just hope that this thing doesn't end and it's almost like a to be continued.
Yeah.
And it's and I know it's going to be that way. And then when Justice League comes out, same thing. Suicide Squad, same thing. And I don't know if I'm going to be on board. I can't be on board with both the Marvel universe and the Justice League universe. All of a sudden, it's almost like I'm going to be 40 when these things are over. And at that point, it's like, what am I doing anymore?
Well, I think that's another topic that comes up from days, superhero fatigue.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you're kind of suffering from it a little bit.
But that's just me, the casual fan. Now, that's probably, I feel like that's where they're kind of like getting in the yellow towards the red as far as these movie makers go, because they're always going to have the fans. But once the casual fan starts to get frustrated by this, now not at the point where I'm quitting yet, but a couple years down the line, maybe. And that's kind of where the money is made. That's how they become billion-dollar movies instead of multi-million-dollar movies, as if everyone's on board, including the casual fans like myself.
So are you more excited for the Batman movie that's coming up? Batman Superman? Batman v Superman? Sounds like a Supreme Court case.
Yeah.
Are you more excited for that one or Suicide Squad? Because you saw that trailer too.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely more interested in Suicide Squad just because it's something different for me. I'm very unfamiliar with all the comics. I kind of know the backstory of all the stories and everything, but it definitely has more of a Guardians of the Galaxy feel to it.
I think that's what's cool about it.
Yeah, and I had no idea what I was getting into when I was watching Guardians of the Galaxy. I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it at a friend Jeremy's house one time on a whim. He just turned it on, and I hadn't seen it, and I loved it. That kind of seems like it has the same feel to it.
It's a different kind of movie, I think, like you're saying. So before we move on to our next topic here, I just want to bring up one other piece of news that we saw this week. The whole thing about Ben Affleck rewriting parts of the script because I don't know if it's a Zack Snyder thing, a Chris Terrio thing, but there was this rumor that came out where Ben Affleck didn't really like the script, so he would get up and he would get dressed into the Batman costume, and then he would go and rewrite parts of the script. Yeah. Now, I don't know where that ranks on method acting here.
Yes.
I don't know. He didn't have his parents killed and become an orphan so that he can become the head of CEO of a billion-dollar industry. But that's pretty awesome.
Well, I think that
he's committed to the role, man.
As they start shooting the standalone Batman movie, his parents, maybe they should get like witness protection or something like that.
Like pretend that they're gone.
Yeah, no, just because he might do something crazy, But no. So yeah, what probably happened is like he has a long day of makeup, so he's in the costume all day, and he's probably just crossing off lines. So he can't really rewrite the movie, can you?
I mean, listen.
He can rewrite dialogue. He's not like he's rewriting scenes.
So they love him, man, and they want him to direct a standalone Batman movie.
No, he's totally a credit, right?
I just wonder if he looks at Zack Snyder, because other people do, like a hack, and he's like, man, this is crap. I gotta redo this.
One of my favorite comic book movies or graphic novel movies.
Yeah.
I don't want to get flamed.
Graphic novel.
Was Watchmen. I think that was a hell of a movie.
It was a damn good movie.
I have full faith in Zack Snyder.
I know that they changed the ending a little bit from the actual graphic novel, but honestly, if you haven't read that book, you should go read it because It's really good. And a lot of the way that he shot that movie was shot for shot, like from the comic panels, which was awesome. It's like a storyboard. I mean, it's out there for you. So I love that movie. I thought it was great, even though that gets dumped on a lot recently too. I
don't get it. I don't get it. But yeah, I doubt that he's probably changing dialogue of his character in his batsuit.
Yeah.
And not full on scenes. But would it be funny if like we were talking about it earlier about how what if he just like all the scenes where Batman fights Superman and Superman wins a couple fights, like he just changes them so that Batman wins, and then Jim Caviezel comes on set with the new script. He's like, "What the hell, Ben?"
So it sounds like we're both pretty excited to see this movie. I'm really excited to see what happens out of it. Hopefully, Justice League's good, because if Marvel's good and DC's good, that's good for everybody, especially if you're a comic book fan like me. It's just more stuff to watch, so I'm pretty excited.
And in a future Last Row On Demand episode, I will certainly give my unbiased opinion. Well, Drew will tell you it was the greatest movie of all time.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what it was really like. So,
like I
we'll
said,
get into it.
I am a fanboy.
Yeah.
So before we watch that, let's talk about some of the stuff we're actually watching right now.
What we're watching.
You were at the movies recently.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't there.
I saw a lot of movies this weekend, Drew.
Listen, this is unprecedented. Usually we watch movies together.
Yeah.
But I wasn't able to join you. What did you watch?
Well, you went and got married, started having kids. You know, that's what happens.
I know. What a loser.
Yeah, what a loser this guy is. No, I saw in the theater Revenant. Now, this as of this recording, the Oscars are about an hour and a half away. So the Oscars have not been released yet as of this recording. So anything we say, it was before the Oscars, but there's a lot of hype going on about The Revenant being a shoo-in for Leo, possibly the director, maybe for Best Picture. Possible sweep situation.
What did you think? Did you love it? Was it the greatest movie you ever watched?
If I could sum it up in a word, it would be
That's it?
That's
about
about
Larry David?
No, yeah, here's the problem. And it was let me clarify this. It was a great movie, all right? It was expertly shot, expertly directed, expertly acted. Story was pretty boring. It was boring. It was 2 hours and 40 minutes. And I get the human struggle. I get his will to survive. I get all that. You know, his son, there's a revenge factor in there for trying to right a wrong. He was left for dead. I get all that. Leo did a great job. Although the second half of the movie was basically him crawling and grunting.
He didn't have a lot of speaking lines?
Yeah, no. And I thought Tom Hardy was borderline better than him. So if we're having an acting competition.
Was it worth Tom Hardy leaving Suicide Squad because of this?
Yeah, see, Tom Hardy is an actor's actor, all right? He's not going to go do a superhero movie when he's got this Oscar bait staring him in the face.
He's allowed to go in the wilderness?
Yeah. Now, I don't think he was nominated for like supporting actor or anything like that. But he certainly was exceptional in this movie. He was excellent. Borderline better than Leo in this movie, but he had actual speaking lines throughout the whole movie, whereas Leo was basically grunting and groaning the whole time.
So was it deserved of the praise that it got? I mean, you kind of said it already, but as someone who hasn't seen it, and I don't know if other people who are listening now have not seen this movie, I mean, is it something that you'd say, you know what, go watch it right now? Or is it like, no, when you get it, you get it?
Here's it's a give and take. It's a catch-22, if you will, if I'm even using that term correctly. I think I am. To where if you see it in the theater, the shots are amazing. And I feel like watching it in your home theater is not the same experience as seeing it on the big screen, because it was very, very well shot. Very well done. Beautiful, beautiful landscapes.
Yeah.
But as far as like the story goes, I feel like you might be better off watching it at home and like breaking it up into halves.
Yeah.
You watch part of it. Once Leo gets mauled by the bear, you turn it off, you'll get some dinner, and you come back, and then you finish it up, right?
Yeah.
So one, it would cut it out because it's for an hour 20. Secondly, it might avoid you falling asleep for the night. I actually fell asleep twice in the theater. Yeah.
You didn't have anybody to wake you up,
no,
man.
I didn't.
By yourself.
No, but it was only like 5 minutes maximum total.
But what if you missed the best part of the movie, and that's why you
maybe it was a lot longer and I fell asleep.
Maybe you fell asleep for like 15 minutes and you missed like the major twist.
I think about 40% of the last half of the movie was Leo just crawling on his stomach grunting. That's pretty much what it was. So
how does it compare to something that I did see with you, Hateful Eight?
Yeah.
Did you think Hateful Eight was better? That's a
Hateful
long
Eight
movie
is so much more entertaining.
It's a different kind of movie.
That's the thing. It's entertaining. Like I would say Batman versus Superman is probably going to be much more entertaining than The Revenant, but is it better movie than The Revenant? Absolutely not.
Right.
And I would go so far as to say if The Revenant sweeps these categories for the Oscars, I wouldn't have a problem with it either. I don't want to say that it's a bad movie. It's not at all. It was well acted. Leo definitely deserves it if he wins it because he emoted without words throughout the second half of this movie in a way that we have not seen since Tom Hanks in Castaway.
That's a good comparison based on everything I've read.
Right. So it was a good job, definitely. But the story, it was just it was lacking. It was boring. It was Oscar bait, and they did a good job of baiting everyone, including myself, for believing it's a good movie, and it is a good movie.
You sound like you're trying to talk yourself into liking it.
Yeah, no, I don't want to sound like I'm bashing it. All I'm saying is maybe overrated a little bit.
I could see it. I mean, again, I haven't seen the movie, but I almost have turned on it, having not seen it. Like, man, this is a weak class of Oscar movies here. Like,
I think I may have talked you out of going out and seeing it now, right?
Yeah.
Have I?
Put it this way, I'm not going to go watch it in the theater.
Yeah,
now.
just go.
I don't think I will.
Go get it on demand. Watch it in your big screen here, and please cut it in half.
One movie that I would love to see is the other one that you watched.
Yes, I on demanded, or actually red boxed.
You last row on demanded.
Yes, The Martian. Again, up for Best Picture, up for Best Actor, Matt Damon. Now that's a great movie. That was entertaining, much more entertaining than The Revenant. Was it a better movie than The Revenant? Probably not as a piece of filmmaking, but much more entertaining. It got a lot of jokes for winning Best Comedy at the Golden Globes, right?
Yeah.
And it was very funny throughout, very light. And I thought that was the only downfall of the movie, was that it was too light. Now,
like it was dire circumstances.
Yeah, the act of leaving Matt Damon behind on Mars and him having to fend for himself, it could have gone for a little more drama, but I guess that's not what they were going for.
It's based on a book, which I haven't read.
I would have liked it if they showed him struggling a little more. They very rarely showed him frustrated and struggled. Now, maybe that's his character. Maybe the guy it was based on. I don't know if it was based on.
It's based on a book.
Based on the book.
It is.
No, I don't know if the guy was written so much to where he's just constantly always upbeat, which it seemed like he was. I would have personally, I thought the movie would have been more powerful and maybe would have won more awards. If it wins or not, I don't know. But it would have been more of a shoo-in had it been more dramatic. But I loved it. I thought the scenes on Mars were fun. Matt Damon did a great job in it. Probably not as good as Leo, but he did a great job. And then the scenes that they showed in NASA of him then making plans to get him out of Mars and getting him back. Those were all great and light and kind of witty themselves too. So great movie overall. I'm talking too much.
So let me ask you a question, my friend. I think you broke one of your rules.
Space movies?
Space movie.
We've already discussed
space movie.
Now, I am on record as saying I hate space movies, but
space movie.
I clarified this. I don't know how many times. I don't like movies that are set where space is like
like it's a Star Wars, you're saying?
Yeah, like Star Wars, Star Trek, where they're living in space.
You don't like a space opera?
Yeah, I like space movies to where they are going to space and they have intentions on coming back to Earth. All right.
So would you say that
if the movie is set to live in space, I hate those movies.
But he lived in space.
But he had plans on coming home. He had every intent on coming back to Earth. That's where it differs. All right. Don't try to trap me into space movies. All
Listen,
right?
all I know is this guy fell asleep. Star Wars Episode 3, 5 days before we could came out to the world.
We're missing the bigger picture here. I've now admitted in the last 20 minutes that I fell asleep at Man of Steel, The Revenant, and
did you fall asleep
Star
in The Martian?
Wars Episode 3.
Did you fall asleep in The Martian?
No, I didn't. But I was home. But I was locked in because it was the story was great.
That space movie really had you.
Yeah. No. When I say I hate space movies, it's basically a qualifier as me saying I hate Star Wars and Star Trek.
It's a good running joke on this show. But anyway.
Well, what else are we watching? What are you watching?
I want to watch The Martian. It's on my list. But I spent the weekend and the free time that I've had watching a couple things. Been watching some TV shows. So don't destroy me on this show here for not having seen this before. But I somehow held off on watching The Sopranos for like 20 years. Or however many years it's been. I have not seen The Sopranos. I know how it ends or whatever it is, but I don't know characters and all this stuff. Yeah. I started watching it recently on the recommendation of yourself, and I've been really, really enjoying it. I'm a little bit into season 2, and it's been something that the acting's awesome. Gandolfini is amazing. I love all the characters. They're funny as hell. it's just a great show so far. So
little Christopher Moltisanti,
I've
little Paulie Walnuts.
yeah, that's what I've tried to get into The
little
Wire.
Big Puss.
I've tried to get into The Wire multiple times, and
Yeah.
I have fallen asleep. And I know that it's a good show.
I get it, yeah.
Like, I know it's a good show, and I know everyone's going to punch me in the face for saying that.
I almost jumped across the table right now and punched you for saying
I can't get into it, and I don't, there's something that gets me like Sopranos. I'm going to spend my time on that. I don't want to sink 20 hours into something until it gets good.
Yeah, The Wire, it's great, but I admit it, and you're right, that it takes a commitment to get to learn the characters, and it is very slow paced, whereas Sopranos is half comedy. So it's easier to jump right in and get sucked in that way.
It reminds me more of a Breaking Bad type show where there's like some serious to it, but it's also kind of funny.
No, Breaking Bad definitely took a lot of its cues and its tone from Sopranos.
And I've also, I started, based on the reviews, I wanted to see how bad it was.
Yeah.
I watched the first episode of Fuller House.
In true Lastro fashion.
It wasn't that bad, honestly. Like,
silver linings.
I didn't grow up watching Full House. I mean, I grew up in the time, right? But I always liked Family Matters. I liked Boy Meets World. I liked all those other shows better. Step by Step was a great show. I liked Full House. It was good.
It was cheesy.
But it wasn't my favorite show of all time. I haven't seen all the episodes. I liked it. This show was not bad. Like, I've been reading, like, there was a headline on Vox. It was like, it's not just bad. It's terrible. Whatever it is. I mean, these clickbait article titles, I didn't think it was that bad. I watched the first episode. Now, maybe it sucks episode 2 after everybody, isn't in it anymore. There's a ton of cameos in the first episode. It was pretty good.
So is, like, John Stamos in it?
He was in it.
Joey Gladstone?
Joey Gladstone was in it.
Coulier.
Dave Coulier was in it. There's a whole bunch of people.
Did they get Saget?
Saget was in it, too.
So I think, did they get everyone except for the Olsen twins?
Everybody except for the Olsen twins were in it. Steve was in it. The guy, Steve, that ate all the time.
Oh, yeah.
DJ's boyfriend.
DJ's boy, Deej.
Jodie Sweetin. She's in it too. I mean, it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. It's no worse than any other sitcom that's out there, and they don't make those anymore.
If what I read was correct, I think all the old guys that were in it, they might be in it for one episode and then they leave, and it's basically the girls are the new guys.
That's my guess.
In the Fuller House.
Yeah,
in the Fuller House.
Now maybe in the second episode it's not as good.
Full House : Fuller
I haven't seen Full House : Fuller House.
Fuller House.
No, I just the story goes that the DJ is a widow and she's in this house, and it's basically her kids now, her raising her kids.
Yeah.
So I hope that this does well enough that they can make a spinoff of it of her kids raising their kids and call it Full House : Fuller House : Fullest House.
But where do you go from there though? After Fullest House, most full. Even fuller,
even fuller. Full House : even fuller.
Even fuller.
No, I don't know. It's all right. The other show that I watched was I started that show Love. It's the Judd Apatow movie show.
I don't think I'm familiar.
It's Jillian Jacobs from Community. She's in it. It's their new like rom-com show. It's okay. It was good. I enjoyed it, and it's weird because it feels like an Apatow movie.
Yeah.
But as it's over, it's like, oh, that episode's over? What the heck? It's like, oh, yeah, it's a TV show. It's not a movie.
Yeah.
I've been watching that, and then I've also been watching Flash and Arrow.
I haven't jumped on the train of that yet.
I got to tell you, Arrow Season 2 is probably one of the best seasons of anything I've watched. The bad guy's awesome. Deathstroke is so good. The acting is pretty good from him. But honestly, I feel like that show's gone down a little bit. I still enjoy it, but I think Flash I'm enjoying it a heck of a lot more. It's got the time travel aspect. It's a little lighter. I'm really enjoying that show. I recommend that you start it at some point. But,
my nephew is a huge fan of the Flash series, and so much so that he got his mom, my sister, on board. Now,
really? She's watching it?
She loves it.
That's awesome.
She loves Flash. She's telling me about it. So
it's a great show.
Now they kind of have a mother-son bonding night.
That's awesome.
They go watch Flash together.
I recommend that you start it. I think it's pretty good. Anyone else that listens, I hope you guys are watching too. I definitely recommend showing at least the Flash.
And in closing, I just wanted to profess my love for the trashiest of trashy TV shows, which is the O.J. Simpson trial.
I haven't watched this, but I've heard that it's awesome.
It's so good. It's so good. It's terrible, but it's so good.
FX makes great shows, man.
But it's like campy bad in a good way. Like,
is it like a Schwarzenegger movie from the 80s? Like that campy?
It's just so repugnant.
Yeah,
Like,
but I haven't seen any of it.
I don't know.
Why do you say that?
It's so cheesy. Like for example, in Office Space, when they go to break the printer, they come out to rap music.
It's like slow motion.
Yeah, it's like the pivotal scene in the office room where OJ's on speakerphone from jail, and they have Cochran on one side of the room, and they have Robert Shapiro, who is an excellent John Travolta on the other side of the room. And OJ tells him that Travolta is not the lead head guy anymore. Cochran is. They immediately cut to the lawyers walking very bad-assedly into the courtroom,
like slow-mo.
It's slow-mo to a rap song. Black Superhero is the song,
awesome.
And it was like such a callback to Office Space. I'm sure they didn't mean to do it like that.
Yeah,
but it's like it's so cheesy in the worst ways.
How's the acting? Is it good?
The acting's very good. Cube is great. Travolta is excellent, but he's like a caricature of Robert Shapiro.
Is his face still really big?
Oh, it's so fat. It's even fatter.
He's still good.
Yeah.
So maybe that's his acting ability is building up into his face.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's just there's a whole Kardashian thing to it. David Schwimmer is Robert Kardashian.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. But it's like every episode, there's like a callback to his kids being obnoxious, annoying brats who are now all we know, the Kardashians. But
that's pretty awesome.
But it's like trash TV. But I can't get enough of it.
If FX does a good job with their shows, man. Speaking of trash,
good segue.
That leads us into our final segment.
Wrapping it up.
You mentioned that the Razzies came out. As of recording, they just came out today.
They did.
I know you guys will be hearing this later.
Spirit.
How did our favorite movie, 50 Shades of Grey, do?
So we recently did a podcast episode on 50 Shades of Grey. Hope you listened to it. If not, go back and listen to it. Preface it by saying you do not have to watch the movie. We recommend you don't waste your time and watch the movie, but you can get enjoyment out of our episode. 50 Shades pretty much is the Godfather 2 of the Razzies. So many awards this year for 50 Shades of Grey. It won, let's see, Worst Picture, Worst Actor, Worst Actress, and Worst Screenplay. I noticed that it didn't lose set design. Now, the playroom.
Set design.
Now, it's pretty sweet playroom. The Bat Cave of Sex was so good. It did not. It avoided the clean sweep for worst set design.
I would love to take a black light in that room. You know,
yeah.
It's like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was a big loser. 50 Shades of Grey. Can't say I disagree. The other movie that got close to as many noms was Fantastic Four, which my nephew doesn't even want to see.
I haven't seen that.
Which we talk about Batman and Robin being so bad you just know it. My nephew knows it, and he loves superhero movies. He doesn't want anything to do with that new Fantastic Four movie.
That movie was plagued from the start. It sounded like the director had a little bit of an ego trip. He was, I mean, there's some pretty good actors in that, like Michael B. Jordan. I think the woman who played Susan Storm's pretty good. There's a bunch of good actors. I don't know how it did so poorly.
Well, funny you mentioned the director. It was because the one major category that the 50 Shades of Grey did not lose or win for worst director was worst director for Fantastic Four.
Oh,
Joseph
God.
Trank or whatever the heck his name is.
So 50 Shades won worst picture, worst actor, worst actress, worst screenplay. I don't even know. And speaking of worst actress, I didn't even realize that Dakota Johnson is Don Johnson's daughter.
I had no clue.
Miami Vice Don Johnson.
I guess she kind of looks like him.
Nash Bridges. She's really hot like him. No, I didn't even know that was the case. Yeah. One of the other ones that I thought was pretty interesting was Redeemer.
Oh, the Redeemer of the Year.
Yo, man. Sylvester.
Sly Stallone. I haven't seen Creed yet. I definitely can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you haven't seen that yet.
I missed it in the theater, and I don't think it's out on demand yet, or maybe it just was released. I haven't gotten to it, but I can't wait to see it.
That was one that I was disappointed I didn't get a chance to see. I heard it was great. Yeah. Michael B. Jordan is awesome.
I love all the Rockies. I even like 5, even though it's trash. Still love it.
Vince Howard himself, quarterbacking himself.
I'm all on board with anything Vince Howard, with the exception, of course, of Fantastic Four.
One thing I was surprised to see that didn't win anything based on just general hate in the world was Entourage.
I'm relieved. Thank God.
Yeah. I liked Entourage movies. So
it's on a lot of people's least liked movie of the year if you go on all the blogs and the vlogs and the slogs. But but no, I'm glad. Let's keep that out of the Razzies. I'm glad.
So to wrap it up, I know we're in basically March here. But what was your favorite, in the award Oscar season, what was your favorite movie that you saw of 2015?
Best movie, hands down, Furious 7.
You think so?
Hands down.
Yeah, Oscar winning?
Yeah, that movie doesn't get the respect it deserves, let me tell you.
So I wonder how many people are listening to this and are like, oh, this guy can't appreciate the glory that is the Revenant, and he's sitting here loving Vin Diesel.
If the Academy would get their noses out of their asses, they would recognize movies like Fast and the Furious. Like the achievement. The guy died mid-movie, and I didn't even recognize his twin brother.
Best special effects.
It's not even his twin. Yeah, where's the best special effects? But I guess Mad Max might have something to say about that.
Yeah, and that's a good segue. I mean, my favorite movie that I probably watched mean, like I said, I haven't seen the other Oscar movies, but I did see Fury Road and I loved it. And, you know, it was one of those things that I heard a lot about going into it. Kind of like a lot of people were saying, oh, The Revenant's so great. The Revenant's so great. I kind of looked at it as, all right, let's see about this thing.
Yeah, you were skeptical.
I was pretty skeptical.
Based on the hype.
Honestly, I really liked it.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't think it was the greatest movie ever.
No.
But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good.
As far as action movies go, it was phenomenal. And hopefully they win something in the Academy Awards. Just so, you know, a movie like that, to get nominated for Best Picture, it's kind of like The Little Guy, because those type of violent action movies never get any kind of credit that they deserve. So at least the fact that it's nominated, I feel like, is a win for George Miller.
Yeah. So if you're listening and you have your own choice for the Razzies that weren't nominated, if you've seen 50 Shades of Grey and you think it's awful like we did,
don't say Entourage.
Write into us. Let us know what you guys are watching. I mean, we could talk about things. If you have recommendations for us, you want us to watch certain movies, let us know. Write into us, thelast.row@gmail.com. Hit us up on Twitter. Twitter's probably the best way to get in touch with us. We're on Twitter every day, @thelastRowPod. We also have a Facebook page. We don't have a lot of activity on there. Facebook.com/thelastRowPod. Hit us up on Google+. And I know we haven't said it in a long time, but we also have a voicemail line if you want to tell us how dumb we are and tell us how stupid we are for liking Entourage and Furious 7.
Dave, do not call us and tell us how dumb we are.
415-779-5278. 415-779-5278. That's also last. So this has been fun. I don't know about you. I had a great time doing this. Sounds like we're going to be doing this every other week now in between our movie releases. Looking forward to having some more of these. And like I said, please feel free to write in. Send us your topics. We'll make this show around what you guys want to hear.
And on that note, we'll can't even speak. And on that note, I guess we'll see you next week. See ya. Hello.